They served our country, and now one veteran's family is asking for the same level of service from a system designed to help. On the verge of losing the home she once shared with her husband, the widow of a military veteran shares the uphill battle she never expected to face. Good evening, everyone. I'm David Andrews.
And I'm Ann Emmerich. In a story you'll only see on News 10, Riley Connell shows us her struggle and finds out what state leaders are doing to better protect veterans' families who've been let down by the system.
Got flowers from his funeral, some of his patches from his uniforms, his Master Sergeant patches.
It was always meant to be their forever home. But after the sudden death of her husband, Jamie Worthington came close to losing it.
It's really hard, kind of like you're grieving again, because I'm grieving the home I shared with my husband, that I don't get to keep.
When Worthington's husband Dave retired from the United States Army, his combat injuries had left him fully disabled. Under Michigan's General Property Tax Act, Dave's disability exempted him from paying property taxes on their house in DeWitt. It was only after he passed away that Worthington saw just how fragile this veteran benefit is.
The realtor working for the VA had called me and said, the VA owns your home, you've got 3 weeks to be out. And, I was pretty hysterical. I'm like, I cannot possibly pack mine and my husband's belongings in 3 weeks and find a place to live.
Despite Worthington continuing to make monthly mortgage payments, her home was foreclosed on because of the unpaid property taxes and put up for auction. After Veterans Affairs purchased Worthington's home, she was told she couldn't buy it back.
It makes you think, if you're a military spouse and your spouse passes away before you, this is what I'm left with.
Friend, fellow veteran spouse, and realtor Stacy McDuffie says she's seen the VA let down veteran families before. She says it's time for the state to change the property tax exemption and other laws affecting surviving spouse benefits.
I feel like here in the state of Michigan, there are a lot of opportunities for us to handle this at the state level. So really look at what our veteran needs here.
To save her home, Worthington and McDuffie reached out to any officials who would listen, sending letters to the state and federal VA and lawmakers like Congresswoman Elissa Slotkin. Eventually, the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency heard her cry for help.
It blew my mind that there wasn't more compassion and willingness to do maybe a reverse mortgage or put the payments on the end or just rework it. And it was really unfortunate to see that, considering how many opportunities and options there are in that world.
As word of Worthington's situation spread, state and federal officials pushed for the VA to reconsider her case.
Which we're hopeful that there's going to be a positive resolution and Ms. Worthington's able to keep her home. That's the ultimate goal, right? So.
Everything that happened to her is exactly what we are hoping to avoid.
State Representative Jennifer Conlin is a member of the State Committee on Military, Veterans, and Homeland Security. They're working to amend the veteran property tax exemption rule in hopes that situations like Worthington's can be prevented.
And trying to be sure that in the event that somebody loses their spouse, who's the veteran, that dependent, that spouse can continue to live in that property.
Worthington is now working on a settlement with the VA to keep the home that she and Dave bought. She's optimistic about the future, but she wants both the VA and other veteran families to learn from her journey.
I think they really need that communication for not only the veterans, but the families as well. It's just, it really lacks.
In DeWitt, Riley Connell, News 10.
The Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency says any veteran family unsure of how far their benefits go can call the 1-800-MISH-VETS line to get the help they need and protect their loved ones.